This is the Vance Audit. I'm Vance. All right, listen up. Stop. Just stop. Stop consuming content right now. Stop scrolling like a consumer. It's time to start thinking like an owner. With every mindless scroll, every passive glance at your screen, you are liquidating your single most valuable asset, your cognitive equity. You are scrolling through everything you see and read like a tourist. You're walking through a museum of total failure and taking selfies with the exhibits. Wake up. Look at the world around you. Me and you, we see the world differently. When you see a history book, what do you see? You know what I see? I see a case study of failed startups and a graveyard of bad business plans. Napoleon, he overleveraged his Q4 logistics in Russia. Rome, they completely failed to pivot their inflationary currency strategy. You see the evening news? What do you see? Because I see blatant market manipulation packaged as some kind of public service. It's a narrative, and it's designed to do one thing: keep your liquidity trapped in fear while the smart money makes its move. And when you see a superhero movie, I see an insurance liability nightmare. You think Superman is a hero who saved the day? I see an undocumented alien operating in U.S. airspace, causing billions in uninsured property damage. It is a regulatory catastrophe, plain and simple. Who is paying the insurance premiums on Metropolis? But look, this isn't just about the media you consume. It's about the life you're actually building. It's the American dream, right? This whole dream thing, let me tell you, it's probably the worst and saddest business plan I have ever seen. So let's do it. Let's take a look at your personal life portfolio. Spoiler alert, it's insolvent. We're going to start with the very foundation of your entire strategy, these so-called assets that are supposed to secure your future, but are in reality absolutely sinking your balance sheet. So first line item on the audit, your initial investment, education. You see a university diploma. For generations, this has been the golden ticket, right? The key to a better future, the thing you're supposed to aspire to. You know what I see? A negative equity asset. You paid, what, $100,000 for a piece of paper that depreciates faster than a luxury car driven off the lot. You think you bought knowledge or skills? No, you bought a receipt for 4 years of non-billable hours. Okay, next up, employment. You call it a stable 9-to-5 career? I call it a golden handcuff. You are trading your most valuable asset, your time, at a wholesale discount just to build someone else's pyramid. It is a fundamentally, catastrophically bad trade. And then there's housing. You see a cute little house with a white picket fence? I see a 30-year contract of indentured servitude to a bank. Let's be real, you don't own that house. The interest rate owns you. You're just the janitor for your own debt. And oh, that car you park in the driveway of the house you don't actually own? You see it as status symbol? I see a liability parked in the driveway just leaking value like an oil spill. That liability depreciates by 20% literally the second the rubber touches the asphalt. It's an instant, guaranteed loss that gets entered directly onto your life's balance sheet. Your perfect lawn? A green, non-performing asset. You pour water, chemicals, and labor into it, and its only yield is that you have to cut it again. An infinite cost sink. You should pave it and rent it out as a parking spot. And then, after building this portfolio of depreciating assets and liabilities, you go and make your biggest move yet. You decide to merge. You call it finding a soulmate. On a dating app? All I see is a high-turn marketing funnel with terrible conversion rates. You're just swiping through distressed assets, hoping for a merger. It is inefficient. And then the wedding? Oh, you see a fairy tale romance. I call it a high-risk merger with absolutely exorbitant closing costs. Yeah, a merger with a 50% failure rate, volatile market conditions, and catastrophic exit terms. People talk about love. I talk about due diligence. You signed a binding contract without even running a stress test on your partner's financials. Unbelievable. And the ring? Oh, the ring. Oh, you see eternal love? I see compressed carbon with artificially inflated scarcity. A marketing campaign from the 1930s. You'd have spent 3 months' salary on a rock that loses half its resale value the moment you walk out of the store. And then comes the expansion phase. Kids, right? The meaning of life. You see a cute baby? I see an 18-year non-compete clause with massive compounding overhead and zero direct revenue generation. Now look, I'm not saying don't have them. You can talk all you want about joy and legacy, fine, but run the numbers. Check your P&L statement. If you can't afford to launch the subsidiary, don't do it.
Even your food. Fine dining? You see a $1,000 gold leaf steak? You're literally flushing capital for overpriced biomass. Eat a protein bar and go acquire an asset. This isn't just about your personal life, it's everywhere. This insolvency isn't just personal, it's systemic. You are surrounded, absolutely surrounded, every single day by bad deals disguised as culture. So let's audit your surroundings. Let's look at, for example, the Olympics. You see the peak of sportsmanship. I see a host city burning billions of dollars on infrastructure that will be derelict and abandoned in 3 weeks. It's a 3-week party, and it's financed by generational debt. The pyramids of Giza, you see one of humanity's greatest achievements, a true wonder of the ancient world that has fascinated us for thousands of years. You know what I see? It's not a historical treasure, it's a CEO's vanity project. A project with a massive capital expenditure, zero cash flow, and absolutely no return on investment. It's a tomb, all right? Not just for a pharaoh, but for capital itself. What about Mount Everest? You see the triumph of human achievement? It's a status symbol that's really just a high-altitude ticket to wait in a line. And let's be really clear about the ROI on something like climbing Everest. It's not just zero, it's deeply negative. You're paying $60,000 for a high probability of liquidation, that's death for you sentimental types, with absolutely no financial upside. None! You know, even the myths you're sold are financially illiterate. Let's run a quick case study on one of the world's most beloved CEOs, Santa Claus. You see Christmas magic. I see a logistics CEO running a completely unsustainable nonprofit out of a high-overhead Arctic location. He's got zero margins, a deeply flawed distribution model, and he relies on unpaid labor. Frankly, the SEC should shut him down for gross mismanagement. The moon landing.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You see one small step for a man. It's the most expensive PR stunt in history for a rock with no atmosphere. Where's the condo development? Where's the strip mine? If you're not drilling, why did you go? The lottery. That's you trying to escape reality by gambling. You see a chance to win big? You have better odds of being struck by lightning while being eaten by a shark than winning the jackpot. That's just a tax on people who can't do math. And finally, sleep. You see a good night's rest. They tell you it's for your health. You know what I see? 8 hours of non-billable downtime while the markets in Asia are trading. You spend 1/3 of your entire life in a voluntary coma. Wake up. Looking at your portfolio, at your choices, your deeply held beliefs, what is the return on investment of your life? I am Vance. I don't care about your feelings. I care about the return on investment. I audit reality. I strip away the narrative, the story, the fluff, and I look at the only thing that actually matters, the balance sheet. This isn't a YouTube channel. This is a consulting firm. And you're not a passive viewer. You're the new intern, and your training starts now. Here's our process. It's simple. Step 1, we audit the news to expose the fraud. If it's bleeding, we are buying. Step 2, we take a massive short position on pop culture to profit from its inevitable decline. We roast your heroes until they file for bankruptcy. And step 3, we audit history so we find out why empires failed so you don't have to. Look, the world is a business, and frankly, most of you are about to be fired. I'm here to promote you. This is the Vance Audit. The choice is yours. Subscribe now or stay poor.